Why I'm like, so the first date. Welcome to Cents Sensibility, where we like to talk about money without the stress.
My name is Chris, and I'm here with my good friends.
I'm Phil.
So in today's episode, we're talking about magic of making your money work for you, which I believe most people don't do.
Probably heard the term being thrown around like passive income or investing, but what does it really mean? Don't have to worry about that today. I'll be breaking it down, or we'll be breaking it down in simple terms and give you 3 practical ways to make your money work for you. So the first and most common way to make your money work for you is through investing, which I think is a very overwhelming concept to a lot of people, but doesn't have to be, and it really isn't. So this doesn't have to mean jumping into the stock market with zero knowledge. All about starting it small, keeping it simple, right?
Yeah, Chris, consider a low-cost index fund. It's basically a basket of stocks and that mimic the market, and it's a good way to get started in investing, and it doesn't require too much risk, which is nice. And I mean, if your job offers a 401k, that's huge too. So I'd make sure you're taking advantage of anything that's matching your contributions, and that's essentially free money for you, so you might as well take advantage of it.
No, you're totally right, man. I think free money is free money. I think essentially that everybody wants free fucking money. The earlier you start investing, the more your money grows because of the compound interest, which, it just grows on itself. So if you start even with like $50 a month, it's going to add up over time and it's going to grow. And then you can go from 50 to 100 to 200, so on and so forth, right? And that money that compounds on itself, you just put right back in. All right, which brings us to their next point, right? Number 2, let's talk about passive income, dude. This is money that keeps coming in without you having to actively work for it. It works for you. It's happening while you sleep. It works for you while you sleep. No pun intended, but kind of sounds like a dream, right? But it's totally doable with the right strategy.
Yeah, Chris, I think some good examples of passive income could be, renting out a spare room if you have one, or if you have a spare property, trying to rent it out on Airbnb. You could also, create a digital product like an ebook or an online course if you're knowledgeable in the subject and you're able to speak about it. And that can sell on platforms like Gumroad or Udemy. Yeah, and I think when it comes to early investing, you want to look at things like investing in dividend-paying stocks that give you regular payouts. And that way, these stocks are giving you money back in the beginning as well as in the long run when you sell. So it's a good kind of investment.
Yeah, I think most people really underestimate dividend stocks, which, they pay out every month or every 3 months in some cases. Obviously every stock is different in how they pay out. So for me, I think it's like, if you find a stock that, let's say, as a good example would be, pays out January to March, and then the next stock from, April to June, so on and so forth. And that way, all your investments will be paying you out a certain amount back every month throughout the year, which then turns into passive income, which obviously takes some effort to set up because you have to do your research on your stocks, right? But once it's up and running, it can provide you with consistent cash flow, and no one hates good cash flow. And brings us to our last point. Number 3 is that, if you can automate everything, you're on the path to success. This isn't about earning more money, essentially. It's just about maximizing what you already essentially have and what you're working with, right? So if you automate your savings, investments, your bill payments, right? Because if you're getting money coming in from those dividends, you can, let's say, put that money towards savings or, your bills, so that these things are kind of covered and you can kind of allocate your time and, let's say, resources to other things. So it ensures that your money is always working for you, even when you're not thinking about it.
Yep. Set up automatic transfers, to your savings account every payday. I'd use apps like Acorn or Betterment to invest spare change automatically. That really helps too. And I think another thing you could do is schedule bill payments to avoid late fees and penalties. And those penalties really fuck you up. So you really want to try to avoid them if you can.
You're totally right, man. Penalties will you up. I think that most people really underestimate the power of automation. Automating most things not only saves you time, but reduces your mental stress load of managing finances, because managing finances is a very stressful thing. We don't learn financial literacy in schools, unfortunately, in most schools. So it's one of those things that we have to learn as we get older, and learning as you get older kind of sucks. So, all right, so go ahead and share in the comment, what's one thing you've done to make your money work for you? I'd love to hear your ideas, and I'm sure other people would as well. But again, making your money work for you isn't just about being rich, or it's not just for the rich. It's for anyone willing to take on small but consistent steps. Start by, investing, building that passive, streams of income, automating your financials, so that way life is a little bit easier and more stress-free. And over time, these moves will transform the way you manage money and the way that your money works for you. And as always, if this episode sparks some ideas, hit the like and subscribe button and share it with someone who will use or could use a little financial inspiration. And as always, keep your cents and sensibilities in check.